Hello, I'm Rob, and this is a brand new podcast called Beyond the Overalls, a podcast all about the stories, experiences, and people from the motorsport marshalling community. Now, I'm not doing this on my own. I'm going to be joined each week by my co-host, Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Rob.
So because it's just us two, Dan, we've got no guests this week. Like we mentioned, I think it's probably fair that we just get to know each other a bit better. So just to kind of take us through that point of where your first interest in motorsport came in, and then what was that stepping stone from just your average spectator, your average fan, to being involved in marshalling?
I remember back from knee-high to a grasshopper, as they would say, watching the F1 recordings with my dad, sort of on the old VHS tapes. And it just followed from there. It's only really been F1 until I started marshalling, and you realise how much more is out there. We went up to touring cars at Alton Park now and again with the family, but mainly it was the F1. So that's always been there, the Sundays with my dad. And then it would have been 2018 was when I first started marshalling. It was my first proper salaried job. So I thought, great, let's get into racing. Quickly realised how expensive racing is and looked at marshalling instead. Dad had wanted to do it for years, never found the opportunity. So we started it near enough together within a couple of months. And we've been at Alton Park meetings ever since, near enough, with only living up the road. So
would you say like your dad was like a really big influence to kind of guide you down that route of getting into marshalling? Like what, and you said that he'd kind of always wanted to get involved with it. What was it that was just like, well, yeah, I'll get involved with it with you as well?
We actually came to the conclusion separately. I hadn't realised he was interested in doing marshalling. I'd looked at the racing, decided against racing because of cost, found marshalling, suggested it, and he went, I've wanted to do that for years. And we sort of came to the conclusion together. So then went on the taster days. He ended up starting about 2-3 months before me because I was working every other Saturday and it clashed with the taster days.
He just wanted to beat you to it. He just wanted to beat you. He just wanted to beat you.
Bugger. But now everyone thinks that because he started first, I've just joined because Dad joined. No, we effectively signed up at the same time.
But so how did you find it? Because you mentioned what did you want to race in, by the way?
I looked at low cost. Oh, well, I looked at Caterhams.
Caterhams.
Yeah. Caterhams.
You nearly said low cost then. And then
I ended up at low cost.
Yeah.
I started at Caterhams and then diverted to low cost because I thought it was cheaper and it was still quite expensive.
And then you came back to marshalling. So how did you get from racing to marshalling? Like where did you see marshalling that first time? Or when you first kind of crossed paths with it, did you see, because I know there's a recruitment tends around quite a bit.
I think it was like a Google search, or it ended up popping up on Facebook, or it wasn't a recruitment tent. It was definitely at home on the laptop or on the phone. It was online somewhere, and I think it popped up as the taster day.
That's quite interesting. And because somebody who's never done a taster day, I was never.
Yeah, you were introduced.
I just thrown straight in at, quite literally thrown straight in at the deep end. What, for those that are listening or watching, kind of explain because there might be people who've considered marshalling, but have no idea what it is. And a taster day is a great way to kind of get a flavour of it.
Fantastic.
But I can't really sit there and go, yeah, you've got to try it, because I've also never done one. Maybe I should. Maybe I should do a taster day marshalling. I might learn a thing.
They have let people go back and do one that have already signed up just to see different areas. It's worth doing. It was, so you turn up, there's no commitment. You can just turn up for the day. You then go home, you enjoy it, you sign up, you don't. Happy days, you've had a day out. You spend the morning having a tour around the circuit. Obviously this is on a race day, so there is stuff going on, paddocks full. You'll have a tour around race control, medical centre, scrutineering, the garages, the pit lane, and you'll do a lap of the circuit as well. And that covers the morning. And then in the afternoon, you will actually then be split up from your group, and you'll be out on post, and you'll just be partnered up with some marshals and you'll become a marshal for the afternoon.
Well, I know why you didn't sign up, because you did sign up, sorry, it's because I mustn't have been on post that day, because you'd have definitely said, no, not a chance, not happening. What was the point in that day? Because there must have been a point in that day where you'd probably have gone from skeptical of, do I want to get involved in this, to absolutely, I'm doing this.
It was the tour around the race control and medical centre was fine, interesting. It was when you realise how close you get to the sport, because obviously a spectator, you've got all the fences in the way, and then our space, and then the barriers, and you clear a whole load of space forwards. And Alton Park's obviously a lot closer to the track than a lot of other circuits. You go to Silverstone, it feels like you're a mile away from the track.
Oh yeah, some corner. yeah, that's a good point. It was when you were out actually on
the
post.
walk around.
Yeah,
the walk around actually, when the racing, sort of the qualifying in the morning was going on, and you see all the different areas, and then when you're out on post and in the afternoon, you go, actually this is quite fun, this. And
it's clearly lived up to expectation, because you've come back, you've carried on with it, and now you're sitting on a podcast going, let's get more people involved in marshalling. So you clearly love it. That first day though, when you're not on your taste today and you're full orange, and it's like, now you're doing it. It's almost like you're doing it for real. Can you still remember that day?
I've still got 2 souvenirs from that day.
Right, let's talk about these 2 souvenirs from that day. What are they?
So, 2 wing mirror covers from Mini Coopers.
No wonder racing's expensive. Marshals nick all the pieces. Just give them back.
It was the final mini fest of Alton Park.
And I remember that. I remember which one.
I was up at Island.
Okay.
Because they were running the hairpin.
Yeah.
Rather than going out to Shell. So I was out at Island, and all day they were just running wide, just ever so slightly, and clipping the wing mirror. And 2 of them left the covers behind. They were broken. All the clips were broke. It wouldn't go back on. And because it was the first day, the post chief said,
heard of gaffer tape?
There you are.
You've never heard of gaffer tape? That'll get anything. No, I think we've all we've all taken a souvenir from racing at some point. I've still got a rather nice, I'm saying here, racing's expensive. I've got a really nice winglet that's got from a Formula E car, the last time they ran at Battersea Park. Yeah. And it came from Antonio Felix da Costa's car. I was going to get him to sign it, but he had a crash later in the day and apparently went home.
Oh, he wasn't
in a good mood.
No.
So I was just like, I'll just take a little bit of wing and just enjoy it. But it's
where it's from, and
fully intact. And it's got the Gulf logo on, which is a very famous livery.
Nice.
And it's just sat in a box somewhere.
My plan has been for years, and I've not got round to it, is to turn them into lamps.
I thought you were going to say collect all the pieces and build a race car to then this is how low cost entry I want. It's like, I'm going to have to marshal
Pick
for 15 years.
Scrap bits.
Yeah. I mean, you just go to just shouldn't really say that. I
Scrappy
can't really say that about
point,
you can go to a catering weekend, but they've got loads better than they used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to me getting involved in the sport, like it couldn't have been like further from like reality of it. It's like maybe when I was really young, when I watched F1 with my dad, again, Formula One's probably the formula that we're all going to get involved in. And I watched the 98 Belgian Grand Prix in a bar in Rhodes of all places. Okay. And I just remember it was absolutely honking it down in Belgium. There was a massive crash there. It was raining, and me and my dad were sat there. Well, he was drinking a beer. I was probably having like juice or something like that. So it was 4. But I remember it really vividly because this pandemonium happened on turn 1, and it was like, what is this? I need to get involved in this. Apparently, my dad told me this before I came here. When I told him I'm finally doing the podcast, he was like, just remember that if you ever talk about the Belgian Grand Prix and going to the bar in Rhodes, I had to drag you there kicking and screaming. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. I'm pleased to say that my first day marshalling, nobody had to drag me there kicking and screaming. I went of my own free will, so I was really happy with that. But I think from that point, you just kind of get hooked from there. Same as you, every weekend, I watched it with my dad on VHS, or we watched it live. And then we also watched the Le Mans 24 Hours. So remembering like the very early days of Audi at Le Mans. Yeah. And Tom Christensen, I think he'd only won it for like the 3rd time when I first started watching. He went 9 now, which is ridiculous. And Bentley winning it. Seeing all these incredible things happen. And then when I was at high school, I had ideas that I was going to be a motorsport engineer. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to be the next Adrian Newey. And I'm like, I'm not that clever. But my uncle, Alan, or people probably know him as Faz. That's probably the first time I've actually publicly
Call him Alan.
Alan, yeah.
It's
also publicly kind of admitted that he is my uncle. That's...
I don't know who that's worse for.
No. Anyway, yeah. So Faz took me to the racetrack, and this guy's really weird now that I'm in this really strange position of calling him Uncle Alan and Faz. Yeah, he kind of suggested he'd been marshalling since the late 90s. He spotted it down at Snetterton when he was on his honeymoon, of all things. Okay. Maybe he could be a guest on a future show. Who knows? So he somehow convinced me to go there, and he'd been involved in marshalling since the late 90s, early 2000s. And he suggested to me, he was like, why don't you come along and give it a go? You know, you get access to the paddock, you get access to all the teams. It's good for you to build those relationships within motorsport. So really selfishly, I'd never signed up to marshalling to go, I'm going to be a marshal. That's not what I want to do. I want to get into the teams.
It's networking for you, yeah.
Exactly. That's a great way of looking at it. It was a network for me to get in.
Which you find quite a few people do that, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can access motorsport, and you know, if you've got a business, you can use it to grow your business. You can make sure you get in front of the right people. If you're chasing a dream job, just use it. And it's great for life experience as well, which we'll probably talk about loads more at some other point. But when I first stepped foot on that day, my first day, I was like, no, I need to be involved in marshalling. Like, the paddock's great, and maybe I'll get a job in eventually, but I need to be involved in marshalling, because it kind of reminded me what it was like watching that first corner incident in Belgium. I was like, this is what I wanted. And then, you know, my first day at Old Hall of Alton Park, and literally from the lights going out for the Ford XR Challenge, where there was like 30 on the grid, from the lights couldn't have gone out and the rain have started in sync any better. And you're just watching 30 Fiestas and Escorts coming at you, and you're like,
barreling towards you.
Oh my God, where's this going to end up? In the barrier is where they end up.
Yeah.
And of 30 that kind of started, I think we had 7 or 8 crash at the corner. There'd been others crash, but they'd gone, but 7 stayed with us. And I was like, at this point, I was like, no, this is
quite fun, this, yeah.
This is for me. And then, like, from there, I've been like really, really fortunate to do loads of cool things like this. Like this. But you mentioned, like, when we were chatting before, that 2018 was your first year, but in 2018 you went to Race Remembrance for the first time, and you went to Anglesey Circuit for the first time. You didn't camp though, did you?
No.
Thank God for that.
No. We have done since in the summer, when the weather's been a bit nicer.
Yeah, when it's -2 in November and it's blowing a gale, not the time of year to go. But people still do it. Fair play to them. Yeah.
I'm not one.
No, I'm definitely not. I'd rather sleep in my car.
I've done that as well. But again, not in November.
No. So first time at Anglesey, Race Remembrance. Everybody knows Race Remembrance now. It's a really special event. It's kind of like the nice way that we all round up. Yeah. Round off the year, and it's like, that's the event that we're going for. It's your first one there. It's blowing a gale. It's raining. It's horrendous.
What was it, 70 mile an hour gusts-ish? It was
I didn't have the barometer out, if I'm honest, mate. I was too busy holding onto the flags. I didn't have time to check. Yeah, 70 miles an hour.
Dad was doing the flags, so I was just huddled inside.
What corner were we at?
We were on post 1. So we had the pit exit behind us as well. Yeah. So the wind was coming straight in off the sea, straight in your
face. Oh, straight through that little window. Oh, no.
We'd closed the door, obviously.
Yeah.
The wind was coming through that strong, it popped the window lock.
On the other side?
On the left-hand side as you're looking out. It actually broke the window lock, and we had to stick it together with gaffer tape.
What a great advert for Anglesey. Sorry, Annette. It is a lovely place to go. Yeah. But when it's windy, it is a bit rough. And you still went back after that?
Still went back, yeah.
So what was it then about Anglesey, or was it the Race Remembrance, or what made you want to go back?
Both, because the Sunday was then nice weather. And when this weather is nice at Anglesey, when the weather's bad, it's horrendous. When the weather's nice, it's beautiful. You've got the scenery, the actual circuit itself is amazing. So we had both the extremes. And you go, well, actually, the good days are so worth putting up with the bad days of the weather. And even on the bad days with the weather, they're still fun days.
Yeah.
Race Remembrance, been to everyone since, because the event is what it is. It
is a special event.
such a special event. And it does so much for the charity that it's aiming for as well. But it's special to everyone in their own ways.
Yeah.
So everyone has their own links to the forces, and it's a way for people to give back as well, isn't it?
You also mentioned that, well, we were talking before the podcast, you've done every British Grand Prix from 2020.
Yep. Yeah, the double header.
Yeah, the double header, which we both did. Now that is a pretty surreal. That was I want your experience of I want your kind of take on that British Grand Prix.
For me, because they were my first and we had no spectators, it was almost like a taster day to F1, because
That's a cool phrase in itself, isn't it? A taster day to F1.
Yeah, because it was like a club meeting. You could still get to post nice and easy. You didn't have all the spectators, not in the way, but you didn't have to walk to post. You take your car. It was quiet. You just had the racing to focus on. So that was a nice introduction to how F1 works, to then be able to, because F1 runs a lot different, as you know, to club meetings. So that was a nice way of introduction to it. And then obviously the years follow on. We went back to normal.
No. Grew exponentially. So if you were to compare that first one in 2020 compared to last year's British F1, where I think it broke the record for the attendance at a Formula One race. You had Lando Norris's home Grand Prix went, and it was like the people were coming out the walls everywhere. Just that difference.
The atmosphere is wildly different, because you've got so much atmosphere comes from the crowd. And again, on the COVID ones, we were on reduced numbers for marshals as well. We went down from about 1,000 to 300, something ridiculous.
Something like that.
It was, so even that reduced numbers, it just felt quiet, like a really, really quick club meeting.
Yeah.
So that the comparison was wildly different. So when we got to the 2021 and we turned up for spectators for the first time, it was like, oh, this is a whole different ballgame.
This is busy.
Yeah, because we spectated in 2018.
Yeah.
Sort of as a joint birthday present for me and Dad. So we went and got grandstands and did the full works. So we'd sort of seen it that busy, but then you're actually then working it.
Yeah.
You've got all the different access, and you get the spectators coming to you and asking you questions, interacting with you.
That's the thing. That was the thing I was going to ask you. When you're at the F1 and you've got your tabard on and you've got your orange overalls on, and a spectator comes up to you and goes, "Excuse me, do you know where the toilets are?" And it's like, there's two things that I get. Is A, it almost feels like they're asking me permission. Like, can I go to the toilet? Like, is now a good time? It's like, yeah, you've got an hour and a half till the next session's on. And it's almost like, it feels like you kind of own the place. Yeah. It's like, it's not my circuit. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. Like, just crack on.
Yeah, it almost makes you feel a lot more official than you actually are.
Yeah. This is an ad. And because we've got no businesses to promote this week, why don't you go over to Patreon and join Tom Smith, our first subscriber, and help us grow the show. From as little as £1 a week, you can go a long way in making a big difference to this show. This is an ad. And it's over.
So how long was it from you starting marshalling to doing your first F1 then?
Oh, that's a great question. So I started marshalling in 2010.
Right.
After Faz had got me, Uncle Alan, Faz had got me involved. And because I'd not really been on the boil with marshalling in the early years, because I was still playing rugby September to April, and that was kind of the love of my life at that point. And then in 2013, I tore my hamstring playing rugby, so I couldn't do much marshalling then, because standing up for long periods of time was excruciating. I just couldn't do it. And then the thought then of running to an incident.
Oh, even worse, yeah.
And then in 2014, I was lucky enough then to put a tear in my meniscus in my knee, which is not fun. So again, standing up was fine, walking was fine, but running really wasn't good. And if I'd rolled my ankle or twisted my knee, I'd have just been in agony. And then, I want to say it was late 2015, I was like, I'm putting a lot of money into this. I'm going to Alton Park, I'm going to Anglesey, kind of here and there. I've got my overalls. I'm doing the membership. I'm doing all this, but I'm not really taking it seriously.
Yeah,
something's got to change. I've got to kind of up my mindset with it. I'm not saying I've got to become professional. Far from it. I don't think we should be professional. But from 2015, I was like, right, let's just set a goal of get to my, what was a green badge now, which is great then, but it's grade 1 now. Get to grade 1, go and do an F1. So 2015-16, I worked dead hard to get the training done, get my assessments done. Was really fortunate with incidents that I had at the Gold Cup in 2016 that allowed me to get my assessment, because they were very strict, like with your assessment. And then I put my application in for the F1 in November 2016. And fortunate enough, I was July 2017 when the F1 was happening, and I graduated from university that year. And
it's a nice celebration then,
really,
isn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice celebration, but then it was kind of like that dread of like, oh, what if they fall the same week? Because I know if I graduate, graduations at Preston at University of Lancashire were Monday to Friday.
So it could be anywhere within that.
No, my look, it would have been Friday. And I was just like, anything after Tuesday is I'd have to write off the rest of the week because of how heavy we're going to go drinking. Like, you can't go out drinking as a group of 14 lads and one of you not end up in like the river or something like that, which one of us did. So, respect to Elliot, by the way, if he's listening. So that 2017, I was very fortunate then. Graduation was the week before. But then, like you said, just roll the celebration straight through into the week after. I've worked really hard the year before to get here. I'd worked really hard at university, and then I graduated that. And then the week after, I went down to the F1, and the amount that I drank the week before, I was so happy I was on the hanger straight. I was so, because if somebody put me at like Club Corner or something like that and I had to run out into the gravel, I don't think I'd have ever found my way back out. I think I'd have still been there now.
Curled up in the gravel.
Yeah, just like, oh, who's that person there lying in the gravel? That's Rob. He wandered in the summer of 2017 and never found his way out. That would have been me. So I was very fortunate to be on the hanger straight. But what a great place to watch, to actually watch the speed of a Formula 1 car.
The speed they come past you there is immense.
So from starting marshalling, it was 7 years properly from starting marshalling to getting it, but from taking it seriously, it was about 2 years, 18 months. You just kind of, when you've set yourself that goal, that's what you always want to do. And I always said, Formula 1, I'd be one and done.
Yeah.
And that'd be it. I'd gone and done it. That's kind of my Everest. Happy with that. And then I got there, I was like, I can't just do one. I can't just do one of these. So then it was like, right, what's next? And it was like 2018, I did Silverstone again. And then I was just like, it's got to be a foreign Grand Prix. I've got to go overseas and marshal. I can't do just the UK. I've got to really kind of
branch out.
Yeah. And
experience how they do it differently as well. Because it's the same series, I'm assuming.
Everything's different.
It's all done differently.
Yeah, everything's different. I mean, I think the biggest difference was when I feel like in a really British way, we're kind of like prim and proper. It's like we're told the rules now. You can't use your phone on the post. You can't use a camera. You'll have lunch in the breaks. You'll drink in the breaks. And when the racing's on, you will stand there and you will not move. And it's a chin up. And
that is how it's done.
That is how it's done. And you go to Belgium and the F1 cars come out for their opening lap. And there's this guy got a massive DSLR camera out. You're going, well, he's not taking it seriously. Why am I taking it seriously? And I just enjoyed that a bit more relaxed atmosphere, and it was really good.
So how many have you done then? Because I know you've gone to Belgium more than once.
I've done Belgium twice, 2018, 2019. Yeah. I've been fortunate enough to do Le Mans in 2019 as well. And a group of 6 of us, I think it was, went over to Sebring in Florida at the start of 2019. So I've done 2 foreign Grand Prix, but I've done 4 foreign races. Yeah. And like you said, even though the rules are it's the same. It's the same racing. It's the same kind of cars. You're going to get the same kind of action. But how they interpret what a marshal does is very different. Like America is very much you will only be incident and intervention if you absolutely have to.
If it's life or death.
Your flags and comms predominantly, but if you have to get involved, do get involved. Don't wait for the cavalry to turn up. Where I was, we had a big pickup truck, and as soon as the car went in, boom,
it's gone, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's like, right, okay, but then it allows you a lot of clarity of just focusing, like they're paid by the circuit. Yeah. They know what they're doing. Leave them to it. Where we're just like, right, what's happened? Piece all that together. The flag is out. Yeah, okay, let's just piece that together. And again, the radio protocol over there, I was talking about the British Grand Prix and the guy coming on talking about there's somebody in a house and then coming back going, yeah, he's supposed to be there, he lives there. To then we're in America and they're talking about Detroit 93 over the radio, and they're talking about what had happened in St. Petersburg Grand Prix, the St. Peters Grand Prix, the IndyCar race that had been the week before us, and what was happening over in Laguna Seca. It was just a casual conversation.
Interesting.
And the next minute you've like, right, how do I kind of cut over the top of this? Because I've had a car obliterate itself hitting a 6-ton concrete barrier. It's like, priorities.
Excuse me.
Sorry to interrupt this really casual, nice chat, but I've kind of got a car in bits and
I maybe need a little bit of help.
And a really angry Russian driver. So can we kind of, and then the pickup truck's there and it's like all the full course shelves out, safety cars, and you're like, yeah, I'd say that's pretty sweet how quick they just flip it from it's dead calm to hyper professional. Let's just crack on with it. One of the best things about the marshalling community and being involved in marshalling is you can come from so many different backgrounds. I mean, there's not one, qualification that you need. You don't need any particular experiences in anything else that will put you above somebody else in marshalling. It's just you've got to have a common love of motorsport. You've got to really enjoy racing, whether it's rallying, bikes, sidecars, whatever, and just enjoy it and
be willing to get stuck in.
And this is what this podcast is all about. It's actually to getting to know our guests a bit better and what they do away from the circuit, to actually make people realise that they could be anything. And one to start with, we're going to start with you, Dan, and you're going to have to explain what your job title is. Give me the boring name.
I've got two answers.
Yeah, you've got two answers.
There's a boring answer, and then the answer that gets all the interesting reactions.
Okay.
So the boring answer is a structural engineer.
Yeah.
So
it's quite boring.
People imagine that you sit there, you design a house, and that's it. The interesting answer is it's safety inspections on roller coasters.
I mean, that's quite.
So
cool.
you don't get many people that can say that, and the reactions I get are brilliant every time I say it.
You've got to ask the question though, like, are roller coasters safe now?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
massively,
massively safe.
You look at how long an item is designed to last, and then how long we let it last before we replace it, and they've got so much lifespan left on them in terms of a safety factor. Yeah, you've got no problems.
It's going to make me so much happier the next time I go on the big one at Blackpool. So is there any aspects of that you can potentially carry over into marshalling?
For us, attention to detail is obviously paramount. So in work, obviously we get quite a lot of time to look at things, but that attention to detail can still carry over to when you're then marshalling, and it's more when you're in a post chief role. In terms of clocking car numbers or damage to cars and things like that you've got to report. So that carries across quite well, that you can pick up on little bits that other people might not necessarily catch. And
because you've started doing a lot of, call it off-track marshalling, but the purist amongst us would probably still call it specialists.
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of time now in the pit lane, again, where cars are coming in because there's reporting of, maybe you should go down the scrutineering route. Maybe that's something for you. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that route because we'll end up making a joke. When you're in the pit lane or you're on the start line, that attention to detail, does that allow you to spot something and go, actually, that's what they need to be looking at? And maybe you can then get somebody to look at it quicker.
Yeah. I find, especially when you're looking at grid sheets, if you've got a really big grid, obviously they're flying at you.
Hopefully not too quick.
Not too quick, no. Sort of flying at you, ready to grid them up at the start, or especially during a red flag, when they can come at you in any order. Yeah. Generally, from a race start, they should come at you in the order they should be. Released, but from a red flag, so that helps as a quick. I find it a lot easier to pick up the numbers on a grid sheet and find them on the car than some of the other people do. Some of them have to write them a lot bigger, highlight them, etc.
You young guys.
So it could be that,
It could be you young guy. Well, you're wearing glasses, but it could be you young guy. Unless them glasses are just for show.
Oh yeah, there's only glass in here.
It's just a frame. And how have you found like balancing balancing work? Because you do go up and down the country with it.
Yeah.
Like, were you down in Legoland, was it?
I was down at Poulton's Park.
I have no
this
idea
week,
where that is.
which is Southampton.
That's a long way away.
Yeah.
We could go to Goodwood while it's down there. That's not too far.
Well, I have tied
Thruxton?
things in before. I managed to tie in Brands Hatch and Legoland.
There you go.
So that was a good weekend.
I'm about to ask, how do you make it work?
So
that's exactly how you make it work.
You can tie it in that way.
So as it actually, because you are travelling to Legoland in Kent, is it?
It's Windsor.
Windsor.
Brands Hatch is in Kent.
Brands Hatch is in Kent.
Yeah, so Kent is down south. Yeah. Windsor is sort of west of London.
Belted. It's not helped me. I think I kind of know what you mean. But so you've been, has it kind of like opened the door a bit more to say more opportunities?
It will.
It will.
It will, because it's a long training curve.
Right.
So you're always with someone for the training. So you've always been traveling with someone.
Yeah.
So it's then not easy if I'm down somewhere.
I'm going, can we just nip to Brands Hatch?
I'm staying here for the weekend. You've got to find your own way back.
Trucks on. Can you just come with me? Or
so it will do, yes. I can go away for the week and go, I'll put myself up for the extra night.
Yeah.
I'm already then here and I can then
you
do
can either
wherever.
top and tail it. Either you've got 1 week finishing and you go and do Marston and that's how you finish your week, or it kind of starts the next week, or both.
Or
really.
you could fit it in the middle if you know, so yes, it definitely will. It hasn't quite yet.
Yeah. And I think that would be a positive for anybody who's like, I wouldn't say a travelling salesman, I don't really want to call them that, but anybody who's up and down the country quite a bit, if they find themselves in an area where they know that they're going to be for a few days and they can tie it into.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Well, you might as well make the most of it, hadn't you?
Yeah.
You've already made that journey to get that far.
20 miles to go to Thruxton's not going to make a difference, is it?
No, not at all. So, spoken about me enough and what I do for work, we'll bounce it back to you.
Yeah.
In terms of what you do.
Yeah.
And what you've done when you were starting marshalling and what you're doing now, because you have changed roles within that.
Yes.
You've been marshalling a while.
Well, yes. 16 years coming up to now, Martin. So in that, all kind of in the same sphere. So believe it or not, like a life in Orange is not my job. It'd be great if it was.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But that just started as a passion project at uni that I kept going. Got a first in that passion project, I'm taking that one.
Got to slide that one in there,
I actually, it's fair play, mentioning Steve Canavan, who was my lecturer, he was the one who pushed me down it.
Okay.
And he said, you've already got all this content here that you've written about, you've done a website, just submit that. He said, because you're onto something good, which was great. But because it didn't pay when you're coming out of university, you've got to find a job. So being a journalist, went into freelance for a bit, which also doesn't pay really well.
No.
So I was just like, I need something that pays really well. And it was actually my dad that mentioned, why don't I go into communications in the NHS? So again, writing, a bit of a different medium. You're not kind of talking to the world. You're kind of talking to, staff within your
trust. So it's internal communications.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a bit of both. It blended. So you had internal communications and then external communications, which was writing your press releases, doing your MP letters, talking to stakeholder groups. And there's not like, I'm not like you who looks after, make sure that roller coasters don't fall down. There's no sexy way of kind of dressing up what I do. I just write. Yeah. That's what I do. But I build like communities almost. Yeah. That's what we do. So I spent a lot of my early NHS career with Mid Cheshire Hospitals, based in Crewe. So worked there for a good chunk of my NHS career through COVID. And then I moved from there into North West Ambulance Service. Big shout out to my friends at North West Ambulance Service. Great bunch of people. And again, that was building a community around that, but a vast area, covering everything from Scotland down to Stoke, the Welsh border across to the Yorkshire border. But I kind of always stayed in that sphere. And then I had my own, having your own business, jumping into that, going into marketing. And it is kind of one of the same communications and marketing. You're just applying communication to something a bit more specific. Yeah.
So again, different products, different companies.
Yeah, exactly. Building a community around it. And that's what I found I loved, was building that community around a product. And from there, that's where we then jumped back into A Life in Orange at the beginning of this year. It's like, come on, let's have one last go at it and the community's there. The community, you know, is all for, they all love each other. How can we give them something that they can kind of take ownership of and go,
a platform to connect them.
Yeah. And it's almost like that sense of belonging as well. But from 2010 when I joined Marston and wanted to be an engineer, and like I said, Faz's idea was it connected me with the teams. I think it's only now that I'm actually using my connections in Marston, like with yourself and with the guests that we're going to get on and people within the wider motorsport community that I'm actually using them connections now. It's taken me kind of 15, 16 years to realise how I can use them properly. And it's like a great thing. So
at what point did you realise you wanted to swap from motorsport engineering into marketing? Because that's a big difference, that they're not even close.
That is a very, very easy question to answer, Dan, is when I got to university and I realised how much physics I needed to do. And I was not doing that. I was like, joking aside, that was, you know, you've got a lot of maths and physics to do to be really successful. And fair play to those people. And at that time, I very quickly figured out I'm not cut for that cloth.
Yeah.
I'm not. If I'd have gone through 4 years of uni or 5 years, what that course was, and got to the end and gone, this isn't for me.
That's a lot of time, a lot of money.
It's 45 grand just wasted. Not my money, government money, but I'd have to pay it back on something I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, very quickly I was like, no, that's not for me. I knew I wanted to be involved in sport. I knew I wanted to be involved in motorsport somewhere. Marston was obviously that great way for me to be involved. And then I spent a lot of time talking to family and going like, what can I do? What can I do? My dad was like, go and do a physics degree. Hang on a minute. I've just left engineering because there's too much physics. Yeah. And you want me to go and do physics, which is just physics. It's like, it's just applied mathematics, Dad.
Just think that one through a minute. Yeah.
He was like, all right, okay, well, what else would you want to do? And, you know, I looked at sports coaching. I looked at graphic design. To humour my dad, I did go and look at physics. Fair play to him. But I knew I wanted to be involved in sport in a way that I could talk about sport, because when I talk about it, I get very passionate about it. And it was actually another uncle, not Faz, my Uncle Richard. He was up on a visit. And he said, have you heard of, why don't you go and be a journalist? And I was like, what's this? Like, what's this? What do I do? And he explained what it was, like writing match reports, potentially being on TV, podcasting now as a form of journalism, doing magazines, websites and stuff like that. I thought, that's it. That is it. I don't care what it is and what sport it is, but that's it.
Yeah.
I want to be involved in, again, working with that community of these people love this for whatever reason they love it for. And I want to tell them the best story possible.
Yeah. Give them that access.
Yeah. And again, that's kind of why I came back for that third crack of the whip of A Life in Orange was, how can I tell the best stories of people involved within the sport, within the Marston community? And it was, you know, through great circumstances of meeting the right people, producer Mark being one. It was just it was coming up with this idea, this format, this podcast of going, I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the person who's going to be sat at the other end of the table when we get guests on, and their route through the sport. Again, so people can go, it doesn't matter what job I do Monday to Friday or every other Saturday, or when they're offshore if they're on oil rigs for 3 months of the year and then they come back and they get 3 months. Do all your Marston in them 3 months.
You can do as much or as little as you want.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
To satisfy yourself.
And then go back onto the oil rigs for 3 months, earn your crust, come back, bang, do it again. And there's so much you can do.
Yeah.
And yes, for me, kind of how both have played into each other, that communications element for me has been a massive one. It's being able to talk to people in the right way, either encouraging them, either, you know, so a good example of this was, we both know a fella called Neil Sellers.
Yeah.
Alton Park Marshal. He's tried, and I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning this story of his. He's tried the last 4 years for the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And he was not back. And he was not back, and he was not back, and he was not back again. And he said, I don't think I'll apply for it again. I went, go on, just give it one more go. Because you're good enough. You're a good enough marshal. Yeah. You've been to Donington, you've been to Croft, you've done Silverstone, you put yourself about, give it another go. And yeah, fair play to him. He's got on this year. And I'm not saying that's down to me. I just wanted him to encourage him to just apply again.
Yeah,
give it a go.
Definitely deserves to be there.
Yeah, and anybody who applies, if they've done the time, deserves to be there, even if it's just once.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I take as that communication. And
that links quite well into marshalling with the roles you do.
Yeah, pretty much. Is that, I said at the beginning of this podcast, my plan was go and just do one Grand Prix and get grade 1, and that's my Everest. I never envisaged that I would then go and be an experienced or grade 2 into IO, into Postive. I never thought that. That was never my plan. But like you go to Anglesey, you get given a radio, and then you come back and somebody goes, "Oh, you're quite good on the radio," and it's like, well, I'm just talking down it. I'm just kind of doing it. Yeah, doing what you've asked me to do. And I think I've been very fortunate along the way that I've had good teachers.
Yeah, which makes a huge difference.
I've mentioned Paul Levitt and kind of his satirical side and his kind of sardonic side at the time. But knowledge-wise, if you want a piece of advice for marshalling, go to him first, because he will have such a good answer for you. Nigel Jones as well. I've been fortunate to work with him so many times. His knowledge is unbelievable, and I could sit here and I could list every teacher that I've had, like our friend Mark, Tom B. Just loads. I could make a whole podcast just listing people I could thank who've taught me, but have also pushed me. But when they've pushed me, they've taken a step back and gone, let's see if it can.
That's a good way of. Well, it's a good way of teaching if you respond to that.
Yeah, it's like,
if that's what you need, then
they've not just kind of gone, there you go, and then step back and it's like, oh, look at the mess he's made. It's there you go, but then just as you think, oh, you're starting to drift down the wrong path, it's like, just consider this, and it just nudges you back, and that's really good. And I try and just take that onto everybody else. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've taken from my job, is that communication piece and building it.
Yeah, because I remember you saying about you turn up Anglesey, they give you a radio. I remember my first time with that happened. I'd sewn my, what was a green badge on the Thursday.
Yeah.
I turned up the Friday night.
That's a good qualification and in Anglesey to have.
There's your radio.
It's like a trophy in it. This is yours.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But on that same line of they push you, but help you, they made sure I was on a post, I was visible. I had the ambulance and the rescue unit parked next to me if I needed, and there's a good bunch of people on there. So it was that, okay, yes, this is out of my comfort zone, but they've made sure I had that support if I needed it.
Yeah. And I think we've touched there kind of like on a really good point to finish, is like marshalling isn't just about the individuals, it's the sum of its parts. Yeah. Like one marshal's not going to change the world, but 100 of us, like it's a pretty impressive thing to watch. And each and every one has got everybody's back. Yeah. And that, I don't know any other hobby, interest, sport in the world where a community is so tightly knit, from regardless of whatever corner in the world you are, that you've got somebody else's back.
Yeah. Yeah. You turn up on the day, pair with someone you don't know, and you've got that common interest to look after each other from whatever walk of life you're from.
And by the end of the day, you're best mates. Yeah. What a great way to finish. If you've enjoyed this podcast, you can subscribe to Patreon for £1 a week. You can help us grow the show and make more incredible content like this.
And don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on socials.